Without commitment, you will never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you will never finish. These words hold the key to everything you want in life. Success, growth, transformation. It all begins and ends with one thing: commitment. Look around. The people who achieve their dreams, the ones who break barriers and rise above challenges, they aren't just the lucky ones. They aren't the most talented or the ones with the best resources. They are the ones who made a decision. An unshakable decision that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, they will not quit. They don't wait for the perfect time. They don't rely on motivation. They don't make excuses. They commit, and that's why they win. The harsh truth is most people never reach their full potential because they never truly commit. They say they want success, but their actions don't match their words. They start, but they don't finish. They try, but they don't persist. And because of that, they stay stuck, watching others move forward while they remain in the same place. But here's the good news. The moment you commit fully, everything changes. The moment you decide that you will do whatever it takes, no matter how difficult, no matter how uncertain, you unlock a power most people never experience. Because commitment is not just about what you say, it's about what you do. And in this message, you're going to learn why commitment is the most powerful force in turning your dreams into reality. By the end of this video, you'll never see your goals the same way again. Number 1, commitment is the bridge between goals and reality. There comes a moment in life when you realize that wanting something is not enough. You can dream all you want. You can write down your goals. You can visualize success. But none of it matters if you are not committed. Because commitment is the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It is the bridge that takes you from where you are now to where you want to be. And without it, you will stay stuck, no matter how big your dreams are. A lot of people talk about success. They get excited about big plans, ambitious goals, and the idea of living their best life. But when the excitement fades, they stop. When things get difficult, they slow down. When obstacles appear, they give up. That's because they never truly committed in the first place. They liked the idea of success, but they weren't willing to pay the price. Commitment is not a feeling. It's not something that comes and goes based on your mood. It is a decision, a choice, a promise to yourself that no matter what happens, you will keep going. If you only work when you feel like it, you are not committed. If you only give effort when it's easy, you are not committed. True commitment means showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not, whether people support you or not, whether progress is fast or slow. The reason most people never reach their goals is not because they lack intelligence, talent, or resources. It's because they lack commitment. They want to win, but they are not willing to struggle. They want the reward, but they don't want the process. They say they are committed, but when it gets tough, they start looking for a way out. Think about the most successful people in the world, those who have built empires, created lasting impact, and achieved greatness. They did not get there by accident. They did not get there by wishing for success. They got there because they committed fully. They burned the bridges behind them. They made a decision that there was no going back. That level of commitment changes everything. It forces you to find a way. It pushes you beyond your limits. It makes you stronger, more disciplined, and more capable than you ever thought possible. The truth is, commitment will test you. The moment you decide to go all in, life will challenge you. You will face setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. You will feel exhausted. You will wonder if it's worth it. And this is where most people quit. They mistake difficulty for a sign to stop. But those who are truly committed, they keep going. They don't quit when it's hard. They don't stop when they feel tired. They push through the pain, and they come out stronger on the other side. You have to understand that commitment is not just about working hard for a few weeks or months. It's about being in it for the long haul. It's about deciding that this is your path, and nothing will make you turn back. It's about staying focused when distractions come, staying strong when doubt creeps in, and staying patient when results take time. Because real success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years of relentless commitment. Look at your life right now. Everything you have or don't have is a result of what you have been committed to. If you're not in the shape you want to be in, it's because you haven't committed to your health. If your finances aren't where you want them to be, it's because you haven't fully committed to building wealth. If you are stuck in a job you don't like, it's because you haven't committed to finding a way out. Your level of commitment determines your reality. The good news is, you can change that. You can decide today that you are done with excuses, done with half-hearted effort, done with quitting when things get tough. You can decide that you will commit fully, with everything you have, and never look back. And when you do that, everything changes. Because the moment you fully commit, you stop looking for backup plans. You stop wasting time on distractions. You stop allowing yourself to quit. You develop a new level of focus, discipline, and determination that most people will never experience. And when you combine that level of commitment with consistent action, success becomes inevitable. So ask yourself, what do you really want? Not what sounds nice, not what impresses other people, but what truly matters to you. And then ask yourself, are you willing to commit fully? Not halfway, not sometimes, but completely. Because that's what it takes. That's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Commitment is the bridge between goals and reality. If you are serious about changing your life, stop talking about it and start committing to it. Decide today that you will never quit, no matter what. Decide that you will do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes. And when you make that decision, nothing will be able to stop you. Number 2, you will never rise above your level of commitment. There is a truth about success that many people ignore. It's not about luck, talent, or intelligence. It's not about having the right connections or waiting for the perfect moment. The real difference between those who succeed and those who don't comes down to one thing: commitment. You will never rise above your level of commitment. No matter how big your dreams are, no matter how much potential you have, you will only go as far as your level of commitment allows. Think about it. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants a better life. Everyone wants financial freedom, great health, strong relationships, and a purpose-filled life. But wanting something and being committed to it are two completely different things. Most people only wish for success. They talk about it, they dream about it. But when it comes time to put in the work, they hesitate. They show up inconsistently. They let distractions pull them away. They wait for motivation to push them forward. And when things get tough, they stop altogether. That's not commitment. That's convenience. Commitment means deciding that you are going to do something and then doing whatever it takes to make it happen. It means showing up every day, no matter how you feel. It means pushing through discomfort, overcoming obstacles, and staying focused when everything around you is trying to pull you away. Commitment is not a sometimes thing. It's not something you do only when it's easy. It's an all-the-time thing. It's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck year after year. The truth is, your life right now is a reflection of your level of commitment. If you're struggling financially, it's because you haven't committed fully to changing your financial situation. If you're out of shape, it's because you haven't fully committed to your health. If you're not where you want to be in life, it's because your commitment level has not matched the level required to succeed. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not committed to applying it, nothing will change. Think about the people who achieve extraordinary success. They don't get there by accident. They don't get there by working only when they feel like it. They are obsessed with their goals. They are fully committed to the process. They do what others aren't willing to do. They stay up late studying, wake up early to train, and push through exhaustion. They sacrifice comfort for progress. And because they are fully committed, they continue to rise higher and higher. But most people don't operate like that. Most people stay at the same level year after year because they refuse to commit fully. They make excuses. They say they're too busy. They say they're too tired. They wait for the right time, the right mood, the right circumstances. But the truth is, if you're not fully committed, you will always find an excuse. And as long as you allow excuses, you will never rise above your current situation. Commitment is not about perfection. It's not about getting everything right all the time. It's about consistency. It's about deciding that no matter what, you will keep going. Even on the days when you don't feel like it. Even when things seem unfair. Even when the results aren't coming as fast as you'd like. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They work hard for a few weeks, and when nothing happens, they give up. But those who are truly committed, they don't stop. They keep going. even when it feels like nothing is working. And eventually their commitment pays off. You need to ask yourself, how committed are you? Are you just interested in success, or are you fully committed? There's a difference. When you're interested in something, you do it when it's convenient. You do it when you feel like it. But when you're committed, you do it no matter what. You show up even when you're tired. You find a way even when life gets in the way. You don't allow distractions, excuses, or temporary setbacks to stop you. That's what separates winners from everyone else. The moment you decide to commit fully, everything changes. You start seeing progress where you used to see failure. You stop making excuses and start finding solutions. You develop discipline, mental toughness, and resilience. And most importantly, you start rising to a new level. Success is not reserved for the lucky. It's not something that happens to certain people by chance. It's available to anyone who is willing to commit fully and put in the work. But most people won't do it. They will continue living at the same level because they refuse to commit beyond what is comfortable. Don't let that be you. Decide today that you will never again settle for half-hearted effort. Decide that you will raise your level of commitment and never look back. You will never rise above your level of commitment. If you want a better life, you have to commit to the work it takes to build it. If you want success, you have to commit to the process, no matter how long it takes. Because once you commit fully, nothing can stop you. Number 3, when you're committed, you don't need external motivation. There is a level of success that most people never reach. And it's not because they aren't capable. It's not because they don't have enough talent or intelligence. It's because they rely too much on external motivation. They wait for someone to inspire them. They look for motivational videos, books, or speeches to give them a push. They depend on the energy of others to keep going. But real success, real progress, comes when you don't need any of that. When you're truly committed, you don't need external motivation. Most people live their lives searching for something outside of themselves to keep them moving. They want someone to remind them why they started. They want an accountability partner to make sure they stay on track. They want a mentor to push them forward. And while all those things can help, they are not what creates lasting success. Because what happens when the motivation fades? What happens when the mentor isn't around? What happens when there's no one to push you? That's when most people stop. That's when they lose momentum. That's when they slip back into their old habits. And that's why they never reach their full potential. But when you are truly committed, you don't wait for motivation. You don't need a reminder. You don't need someone to inspire you. You wake up every day knowing exactly what you need to do, and you do it. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if no one is watching. You do the work because you've already decided. You've made a commitment. And that commitment is stronger than any temporary feeling. That's the difference between the people who achieve great things and those who don't. The ones who succeed don't rely on bursts of motivation. They don't wait to feel excited. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They just get to work. They do it when it's easy, and they do it when it's hard. They show up when they're full of energy, and they show up when they're exhausted, because they understand something most people don't. Commitment is stronger than motivation. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright for a moment, but then it fades. Commitment is like a fire that never goes out. It keeps you moving forward even when the excitement is gone. It keeps you pushing even when progress is slow. It keeps you disciplined even when the results aren't showing yet. That's why the people who achieve their goals are not the ones who are always the most excited. They are the ones who are the most committed. You don't see world-class athletes skipping practice because they didn't feel like training that day. You don't see top entrepreneurs taking weeks off because they lost motivation. You don't see the best performers in any field waiting for inspiration to strike. They do the work regardless because they are not controlled by feelings. They are controlled by their commitment. Most people never break free from their old patterns because they rely too much on how they feel. If they feel inspired, they work hard. If they don't feel inspired, they take a break. And that's why they stay stuck. They only move forward when the energy is high, and they stop the moment it dips. And that cycle repeats over and over again. But the people who break through that cycle, the ones who achieve something extraordinary, are the ones who understand that how they feel doesn't matter. The truth is, Success doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. Progress doesn't wait until you're in the mood. Either you do the work or you don't. Either you stay committed or you don't. Either you take full responsibility or you keep making excuses. That's what it comes down to. If you're always looking for motivation, if you always need someone or something to push you, you will always be dependent. You will always be looking for the next speech, the next book, the next video to get you going again. And that's not how winners operate. Winners create their own motivation. They don't wait for it. They don't need it. They get up and they go. They do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. And here's the most important part. When you commit at that level, something incredible happens. You start building momentum. You stop needing motivation because taking action becomes normal for you. Hard work becomes a habit. Discipline becomes part of who you are. And before you know it, you don't have to push yourself anymore because it's just what you do. That's what separates the people who live an average life from the people who create an extraordinary one. It's not about luck. It's not about talent. It's not about intelligence. It's about the level of commitment. If you only work when you're motivated, you will never be consistent. If you're not consistent, you will never build real progress. If you don't build real progress, you will never reach your potential. You have to make a decision. Do you want to be the person who always needs a push? Or do you want to be the person who is unstoppable? Do you want to be the person who waits for motivation? Or do you want to be the person who takes action no matter what? Because that decision will define your future. The people who achieve great things in life are not the ones who get motivated the most. They are the ones who are the most committed. They are the ones who show up every single day, no matter what. They are the ones who take full responsibility for their progress. They are the ones who don't rely on feelings. And because of that, they keep rising higher and higher while everyone else stays stuck. If you're tired of waiting for motivation, if you're tired of stopping and starting, if you're tired of feeling stuck, then make the decision today. Decide that you will no longer rely on anything outside of yourself to keep moving forward. Decide that your commitment is enough. Because once you do that, once you take full control, nothing can stop you. You become the kind of person who doesn't need motivation anymore. You become the kind of person who creates it. And that is the moment when everything changes. Number 4, your actions reveal your commitment. Not your words. People love to talk about their dreams. They love to share their plans, their ambitions, their big ideas for the future. They say things like, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, or I'm going to change everything this year. And for a moment, it sounds convincing. It sounds like they've made a decision, like they're serious this time. But then you look at what they actually do, and you see the truth. Because words don't mean anything if the actions don't match. Your actions reveal your commitment, not your words. You see this everywhere. Someone says they're committed to their health, but their daily choices tell a different story. Someone says they want to be successful, but their work ethic doesn't reflect it. Someone says they want to change, but they keep repeating the same behaviors. And this is why most people never get what they say they want, because they don't back up their words with real action. They think saying it is enough. They think wanting it is enough. But the world doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you do. The difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't is not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's their level of commitment. And the only way to measure commitment is by action. When someone is truly committed, you don't have to ask them if they're serious. You can see it. You can see it in how they spend their time, in how they prioritize their goals, in how they show up every single day. They don't just talk about it, they live it. Think about it. If someone tells you they're serious about success, but they sleep in every day, waste time on distractions, and make excuses when things get hard, do you believe them? Of course not. Because real commitment shows up in discipline. It shows up in habits. It shows up in the daily grind, in the little choices that most people overlook. That's where success is built. Not in big declarations, but in consistent action. The truth is, talking is easy. It takes no effort to say you want something. It takes no effort to promise yourself that this time will be different. It takes no effort to post about your goals, to tell people you're on the path to greatness, to make yourself look committed. But when it's time to actually put in the work, when it's time to sacrifice, when it's time to do the hard, boring, repetitive tasks that success requires. That's where most people disappear. That's when you find out who's real and who's just pretending. If you want to know how committed someone is, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Are they making progress? Are they staying disciplined when no one is watching? Are they pushing through when things get difficult? That's how you know who's truly serious. Because commitment isn't something you prove with words. It's something you prove with results. Think about the most successful people in any field. They don't waste time telling the world how committed they are. They're too busy working. They're too busy showing up every day, putting in the hours, improving, grinding, staying focused. Their actions speak so loudly that they don't need to say anything. That's how real commitment looks. Most people never reach their potential because they convince themselves that saying it is enough. They tell themselves that because they have big dreams, they deserve big results. But dreams don't build success. Work does. Sacrifice does. Relentless action does. And if you're not willing to prove your commitment with your actions, then you have to be honest with yourself. You don't really want it. Because if you did, you wouldn't just be talking about it. You'd already be doing it. This is where most people get stuck. They feel motivated in the beginning, so they make big promises to themselves. They say, this time I'm going to take it seriously. But then life happens. Distractions show up. Doubt creeps in. The excitement wears off. And instead of pushing through, instead of proving their commitment, they start making excuses. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, or next week, or when the timing is better. And just like that, the cycle repeats. But here's the reality. There is no perfect time. There is no easy path. There is no shortcut. The only way to get where you want to go is to commit at a level that most people never do. That means showing up on the days you don't feel like it. That means working when no one is clapping for you. That means staying disciplined when the results aren't coming fast enough. Because anyone can work hard when they feel good. Anyone can be motivated when everything is going their way. But real commitment is tested when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, when it's exhausting, when no one is cheering for you. And that's what separates the people who win from the people who quit. The winners don't just want it, they prove it. They don't just talk about success, they earn it. They don't just make promises to themselves, they follow through, no matter what. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're tired of making the same promises over and over again, and never following through, then it's time to make a change. It's time to stop talking and start doing. It's time to stop relying on words and start proving your commitment with action. Because at the end of the day, no one cares what you say you're going to do. No one cares about your plans, your dreams, your big ideas. The world only cares about results, and results only come from action. So if you want to succeed, if you want to change your life, if you want to achieve everything you've been talking about, then stop talking, stop waiting, stop making excuses, and start proving with your actions that you mean it. Because that is the only thing that matters. Number 5. True commitment means eliminating excuses. There comes a moment in everyone's life when they have to make a choice, a real choice. Not just a wish, not just a hopeful thought, but a decision that changes everything. A moment where they stop playing games with themselves, stop making excuses, and fully commit. Because here's the truth. If you're still making excuses, you're not really committed. Most people think they're committed, but what they really mean is that they're interested. They're interested in success. They're interested in growth. They're interested in changing their life. But the moment things get inconvenient, the moment it gets difficult, they start looking for a way out. They tell themselves they're too tired, that they don't have enough time, that the circumstances aren't right. They wait for motivation to come back, for the perfect conditions to appear, for some external force to push them forward. But that's not commitment. That's just interest. And interest won't take you where you want to go. Commitment means you don't give yourself an exit strategy. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't allow excuses to creep in. Because the second you give yourself permission to quit, even just a little bit, you're already halfway out the door. And that's why most people fail. It's not because they aren't capable. It's not because they don't have potential. It's because they leave the back door open. They keep the excuse ready in their pocket, just in case they need it. And when the work gets tough, when the path gets uncomfortable, they take it. They give themselves permission to walk away. But the ones who succeed, they don't think that way. They don't allow themselves to even entertain the idea of quitting. They don't look for reasons why they can't. They find ways to make it happen. They don't blame circumstances. They don't wait for the perfect time. They don't let fear dictate their decisions. They commit fully. And when you're fully committed, excuses don't even cross your mind. Think about the times in your life when you made something happen, no matter what, when there was no other option but to succeed. Maybe it was for your family. Maybe it was a moment when you had no safety net, no fallback plan, no choice but to make it work. What happened? You rose to the occasion. You did whatever it took, because when you remove excuses, you force yourself to find a way. That's the power of true commitment. It eliminates doubt, it eliminates hesitation, and it eliminates failure as an option. But most people don't live like that. Most people give themselves too much room to fail. They say they want success, but only if it's convenient. They say they're serious, but only when they feel motivated. They say they're committed, but only until it gets uncomfortable. And that's why they stay stuck. Because every time they make an excuse, they strengthen the habit of quitting. The dangerous thing about excuses is that they sound reasonable. They make sense. They make you feel justified. I'm too tired today. I'll start tomorrow. It's just one day off. It's not the right time. These are the things people tell themselves every day. And what starts as one excuse turns into a habit of quitting. The more you allow excuses, the weaker your commitment becomes. But when you eliminate excuses completely, everything changes. Because now there's no way out. There's no debate. You train yourself to take action, no matter what. And that's when the real transformation happens. Because success isn't built on perfect conditions. It's built on consistency. It's built on showing up when you don't feel like it. It's built on pushing through when everything in you wants to stop. Most people say they want success, but what they really mean is they want success as long as it's easy, as long as it doesn't require too much sacrifice, as long as they don't have to push too hard. But the people who actually make it, they understand that success is a price you pay up front. They understand that there will never be a perfect time. They understand that motivation is temporary, but commitment is what keeps you moving forward. So here's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you truly committed, or are you just interested? Because if you're still making excuses, you already have your answer. True commitment means removing all the reasons why you can't and replacing them with action. It means making success non-negotiable. It means showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's happening around you, regardless of whether or not you're motivated. Because the truth is, no one is going to hand you your dreams. No one is going to make it easy for you. No one is going to push you when you don't feel like moving. That's your job. And if you're still waiting for the right time, if you're still looking for a shortcut, if you're still letting excuses run your life, then you're not ready. But the second you decide that failure is not an option, that quitting is not an option, that making excuses is no longer a part of your mindset, that's the moment everything changes. That's the moment you take control. That's the moment you go from hoping for success to guaranteeing it. Because when you eliminate excuses, you eliminate failure. When you eliminate excuses, you eliminate hesitation. And when you eliminate excuses, you prove to yourself and to the world that you are truly committed. Number 6, total commitment turns the impossible into reality. There's a reason why most people never achieve their biggest dreams. It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they aren't smart enough. It's not because the world is against them. It's because they never truly commit. They want success, but they don't want to give everything for it. They want to reach their goals, but they leave room for doubt, hesitation, and excuses. And that's why they stay stuck. Because until you commit fully, until you go all in, what seems impossible will always remain impossible. Total commitment is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the difference between wishing for something and making it happen. The people who succeed at the highest level, the ones who transform their lives, the ones who turn their biggest visions into reality, are the ones who commit with everything they have. They don't hold back. They don't leave a backup plan. They don't hesitate when things get tough. They burn the bridges that lead back to comfort, and they move forward with unstoppable force. Think about the greatest achievements in history, the ones that seemed impossible at first. Every single one of them was made possible by people who refused to let doubt win. The people who committed so deeply that failure was not an option. The people who, no matter how hard it got, no matter how long it took, never considered giving up. They didn't just try, they committed. And that's why they succeeded. But most people don't live that way. Most people give up too soon. They start strong, but the moment they hit resistance, they slow down. They let fear creep in. They let distractions pull them away. And before they know it, they've settled back into the same life they were trying to escape. Not because they weren't capable, but because they never fully committed. They never removed failure as an option. They never made success non-negotiable. When you commit fully, everything changes. The way you think changes. The way you act changes. The way you see challenges changes. Because now there's no hesitation. There's no questioning whether you'll keep going. You already know the answer. You keep going no matter what. You find solutions instead of excuses. You find strength instead of doubt. You move with certainty because you've already decided that nothing will stop you. And that's where the impossible becomes possible. Because the truth is, what seems impossible right now is only impossible because you haven't committed fully. You haven't pushed yourself far enough. You haven't given it everything you've got. But when you do, when you reach that level of total commitment, you start to see what's really possible. You start to break through limits you didn't even know you had. You start to achieve things that once seemed out of reach. The people who make the biggest impact, the people who build legacies, the people who turn their wildest dreams into reality, are not the ones who had it easy. They are not the ones who got lucky. They are the ones who committed beyond what most people are willing to commit. They sacrificed more. They pushed harder. They did what others weren't willing to do. And because of that, they created results that others never could. Most people underestimate the power of full commitment. They think they're committed, but really they're just trying. They're testing the waters. They're seeing how it goes. But true commitment doesn't work like that. True commitment means you decide fully, completely, that you will make it happen no matter what. It means you remove every excuse, every hesitation, every reason to stop. It means you give everything, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when it seems like nothing is working. Because the truth is, the people who succeed at the highest level don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on external forces to push them forward. They create their own momentum through their commitment. They show up every day with the same level of intensity, the same level of focus, the same level of drive, because they know that total commitment is the key to making the impossible happen. So the question is, have you committed fully? Have you burned the bridges that lead back to your old life? Have you removed failure as an option? Or are you still hesitating, still leaving yourself an escape, still giving yourself permission to quit when it gets tough? Because the truth is, until you commit fully, you'll always struggle. You'll always feel stuck. You'll always wonder why success seems just out of reach. But the moment you go all in, fully, completely, without hesitation, that's when everything changes. That's when doors start opening. That's when progress starts happening at a level you've never experienced before. Because now you're not just hoping for success. You're guaranteeing it. You're forcing it to happen. You're removing every other possibility, except the one where you win. And when you do that, what once seemed impossible suddenly becomes your reality. Number 7. Small daily actions show true commitment. Success isn't built in a day. It's not a single big event, a lucky break, or one grand decision that changes everything overnight. The truth is, success is built in the small, unseen moments, the daily actions, the choices you make when no one is watching, the tiny steps that may seem insignificant today, but over time create unstoppable momentum. Commitment isn't about making a big declaration. It's about proving it every single day through your actions. Most people think they need something extraordinary to reach their goals. They think they need a perfect plan, the right timing, or some kind of breakthrough. But that's not how success works. It's not about the one big move. It's about consistency. It's about the habits you build, the routines you follow, and the discipline to keep going even when the results aren't immediate. The people who truly commit don't wait for motivation, inspiration, or the perfect moment. they show up every day. No matter what. Think about it. Any great achievement is the result of thousands of small actions, repeated over and over. A world-class athlete doesn't become great because of one intense training session. They become great because they train day in and day out, even when they don't feel like it. A successful entrepreneur doesn't build a thriving business by making one big deal. They build it by showing up every day, making calls, solving problems, and pushing forward, step by step. Commitment isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. But here's the challenge. Small daily actions don't always feel rewarding in the moment. They don't give you instant results. And that's why so many people quit. They start something with enthusiasm, but when they don't see immediate success, they lose interest. They tell themselves it's not working. They look for shortcuts, quick fixes, or an easier way. But the truth is, there is no shortcut. The only path to success is through steady, consistent effort. Most people underestimate the power of small actions. They think if they're not making a massive change, it doesn't count. But that's a mistake, because small actions done consistently compound over time. Just like drops of water can carve through rock, just like a single spark can start a fire, your small daily efforts, repeated over time, create unstoppable momentum. The key is discipline, the ability to do the small things even when you don't feel like it. Because let's be honest, there will be days when you don't want to do it, days when you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. And those are the moments that define your success. The moments when you show up anyway. The moments when you prove your commitment, not through words, but through action. Because anyone can say they're committed when it's easy, when things are going well, when they're excited about the journey. But true commitment is tested in the hard moments. When the excitement fades, when progress is slow, when doubts creep in, that's when you find out if you're truly committed. And if you are, you'll keep going. Because that's what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The reality is, most people fail not because they aren't capable, but because they aren't consistent. They work hard for a short time, then stop. They expect big results without putting in the daily work. They want success, but they don't want the process. But the process is everything. The small daily actions are what separate the winners from the rest. So if you're serious about your goals, stop focusing on the end result and start focusing on today. What can you do today to move forward? What small action can you take right now? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. Because if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up day after day, the results will come. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen. That's the secret. That's the truth that most people ignore. Commitment isn't proven in one big move. It's proven in the small daily actions that no one sees. The choices you make when no one is watching. The discipline to do the work, even when it's inconvenient. The ability to keep pushing forward, even when the results aren't immediate. Because if you do that, if you stay consistent, if you commit to the process, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Small actions, done daily, create unstoppable results, and that's the real path to success. Number 8, your level of commitment defines your future. The future does not wait for anyone. It doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, or your doubts. It only responds to one thing, your level of commitment. Because commitment is the force that determines how far you go in life. It is not luck, talent, or intelligence that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It is the level of commitment. The difference between those who rise to greatness and those who stay stuck is not their background, not their resources, not even their circumstances. It is their ability to commit fully and never back down, no matter what stands in their way. Everything you want, every goal, every dream, every vision for your future depends on how committed you are. Not how much you wish for it, not how much you talk about it, but how much effort you are willing to put in when it gets tough. Because it will get tough. And that is where most people fail. They start strong, they make big promises, but when the difficulties come, they hesitate, they slow down, they look for an easier way. But there is no easier way. There is only one way, the path of full commitment, the path where you push forward, no matter what obstacles appear. Commitment is not about how excited you are when you begin. Anyone can be excited in the beginning. Anyone can talk about their dreams, set goals, and make plans. But excitement fades. Motivation comes and goes. The only thing that lasts is commitment. And commitment means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when the results don't come right away. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness in any field, and you will see one thing: unshakable commitment. Athletes who train relentlessly, even when they don't see immediate progress. Entrepreneurs who keep building their business, even after countless failures. Artists who continue perfecting their craft, even when no one is watching. They all understand one truth: commitment is the price of success. And those who are willing to pay that price are the ones who shape their own future. There will always be reasons to quit. There will always be distractions, challenges, and moments of doubt. But those who succeed are the ones who refuse to let those things control them. They don't let setbacks shake their belief. They don't allow temporary failure to define their future. They make a decision that nothing will stop them, and they follow through on that decision every single day. The real question is, how badly do you want it? Not how much do you say you want it, not how much do you think about it, but how much are you willing to sacrifice for it? Because commitment is sacrifice. It is giving up comfort. It is giving up excuses. It is giving up the need for quick results, and instead choosing the path of patience, discipline, and relentless effort. Most people never reach their full potential because they only commit halfway. They give just enough effort to feel like they are trying, but not enough to actually make a difference. They work hard when they feel like it, but the moment it gets difficult, they look for an exit. And that is why they never break through. That is why they stay stuck, because they never go all in. If you truly want to change your life, there is only one way: total commitment. Not a little bit, not sometimes, but fully, completely, and without hesitation. That means showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel. That means working when you're tired. That means pushing forward when you're frustrated. That means refusing to quit, no matter how many times you fail. Commitment is the foundation of every great achievement. It is the invisible force that separates those who succeed from those who give up. And here's the truth: the moment you decide to fully commit, everything changes. You stop waiting for motivation, and you start creating your own. You stop making excuses, and you start finding solutions. You stop hoping for success, and you start making it happen. But commitment is a choice. No one can make it for you. You have to decide right now how much you are willing to give, how much you are willing to endure, how much you are willing to fight for the future you want. Because if you are not fully committed, then you are leaving your future to chance. And chance never leads to greatness. There is a version of you in the future who is stronger, more successful, and living the life you dream of. But that version of you only exists if you commit today, if you refuse to settle, if you refuse to back down, if you refuse to let anything stop you, because your level of commitment defines your future. And the moment you give everything you have, the moment you decide that failure is not an option, that is the moment your future begins to change. Number 9, commitment to excellence separates the best from the rest. There is one thing that separates those who rise to the top from those who remain average. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even intelligence. It's a commitment to excellence. Because excellence is what turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's what takes someone from being just another name in the crowd to someone who stands out, someone who dominates, someone who becomes unforgettable. Look around at the people who succeed at the highest level, whether it's in business, sports, the arts, or any other field. You'll notice one thing: they don't settle for good enough. They don't do the bare minimum. They don't just show up and hope for the best. No, they are obsessed with being the best. They are committed to mastering their craft, refining their skills, and pushing themselves beyond what most people are willing to do. Because they understand that excellence isn't an accident. It's a decision. A daily decision to give your best effort, even when no one is watching. Most people never experience true success because they only put in the effort when they feel like it. They work hard for a little while, but then they slow down. They aim to be good, but they never demand excellence from themselves. And that's why they stay where they are. Because good is the enemy of great. Excellence requires a different mindset. It's not about competing with others. It's about competing with yourself. It's about waking up every day and asking, how can I be better than I was yesterday? It's about refusing to let mediocrity take over. Because the truth is, if you're not actively striving for excellence, then by default, you're choosing to be average. Excellence is not something you turn on and off when it's convenient. It's not something you do when people are watching. It's something you live by. It's a standard that you hold yourself to in everything you do. The way you work, the way you communicate, the way you handle setbacks, the way you carry yourself. Excellence isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are. Most people will never reach their full potential because they're unwilling to make the sacrifices that excellence demands. Excellence requires long hours of work, even when you don't feel like it. It requires discipline, consistency, and an unshakable commitment to improvement. And it requires you to do more than what's expected. Because the difference between good and great is found in the extra effort, the extra practice, the extra hours, the extra discipline. That's where the gap is created. Think about it. How many people do you know who are truly excellent at what they do? Not just good, not just okay, but excellent. Probably not many. Because most people settle. They do just enough to get by. They don't push themselves beyond what's comfortable. And that is why only a few ever become truly great. Because greatness demands more. It demands a level of commitment that most people aren't willing to give. But here's the good news. Excellence is not reserved for a special few. It's not something you're born with. It's something you choose. And if you choose to commit to excellence, then nothing can stop you. Because the world recognizes and rewards excellence. Excellence gets noticed. Excellence opens doors. Excellence creates opportunities. People want to work with those who are excellent. People want to learn from those who are excellent. People respect those who are excellent. And when you commit to excellence, success becomes inevitable. It won't happen overnight. Excellence is built over time, through thousands of small decisions to do better, to be better. It's in the way you approach your work. It's in the way you train. It's in the way you handle challenges. It's in the way you refuse to let setbacks define you. Excellence is a habit, and once it becomes your habit, your results will change forever. So ask yourself, are you truly committed to excellence? Or are you just going through the motions? Are you pushing yourself beyond what's comfortable? Or are you settling for what's easy? Are you striving to be the best? Or are you okay with being average? Because the truth is, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your standards. And if you set your standards at the level of excellence, then nothing will be able to hold you back. Excellence is not for the weak. It's not for those who make excuses. It's not for those who wait for the right moment. It's for those who take full responsibility for their success. It's for those who refuse to accept anything less than their best. It's for those who demand more from themselves than anyone else ever could. And if you become one of those people, if you commit to excellence in everything you do, then you won't have to chase success. Success will chase you, because in a world where most people settle, the few who demand excellence from themselves will always rise to the top. Number 10, be all in or stay out. There is no middle ground. There comes a point in life where you have to decide, are you all in, or are you just playing around? Are you fully committed, or are you just testing the waters? Because the truth is, success doesn't come to those who dabble, who hesitate, who keep one foot in and one foot out. It comes to those who go all in, who burn the bridges of doubt, who refuse to give themselves a way out. There is no middle ground. You're either fully committed, or you're not in the game at all. Most people live in that middle ground. The place where they want success, but they don't want to do what it takes. They want results, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want the reward, but they hesitate when it's time to pay the price. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. Because when you hesitate, you lose momentum. When you hold back, you weaken your own potential. And when you refuse to commit fully, you guarantee your own failure. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone achieve greatness by giving half effort? Have you ever seen a champion, a leader, a master of their craft, who just kind of tried? No, Because that's not how success works. The best in the world don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't play it safe. They don't give themselves an easy way out. They make a decision. They commit fully. And they don't look back. They remove all hesitation. Because they understand that hesitation kills dreams. If you want to succeed at anything, your career, your goals, your vision, you have to go all in. No more excuses. No more waiting for the right time. No more playing small. You have to decide that failure is not an option. That quitting is not on the table. That you will do whatever it takes. For as long as it takes, no matter what. That's the mindset that separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Because those who succeed didn't just try. They committed. They made the decision that there was no other way. Most people never commit fully because they're afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of what others will think. And so they hold back just enough to feel safe, just enough to have an excuse in case things don't work out. But that's the problem when you give yourself a way out. You're already setting yourself up to fail. You have to eliminate the option of quitting. You have to make success your only choice. You have to mentally remove the escape route and tell yourself, this is it. I will make this work, no matter what. When you truly commit, everything changes. You start thinking differently. You start making better decisions. You stop wasting time, because now there's no plan B. You stop entertaining distractions, because now your focus is unshakable. You develop an intensity, a hunger, a drive that most people will never understand. Because most people don't know what it feels like to be truly committed. They don't know what it means to give something their absolute best, their everything, with no backup plan, no safety net, no excuses. This is why most people live in regret, because deep down, they know they never really gave it their all. They never truly pushed themselves to their limit. They never took the risks, made the sacrifices, or committed fully to something that mattered. They played it safe, and because of that, they never saw what they were truly capable of. And that's the worst kind of pain. Not the pain of failure, but the pain of knowing you never really tried. But you don't have to live like that. You can decide, right now, that from this day forward, you're all in. No more playing small. No more halfway effort. No more living in the middle ground, where nothing ever happens. You either go all in, or you stay out. Because the middle ground is where dreams go to die. Commit fully. Burn the bridges of doubt. Remove the exit doors. Make success your only option. And when you do that, when you finally go all in, you'll realize that you were always capable of more than you ever imagined. Because when you stop hesitating, when you stop holding back, when you stop playing it safe, that's when your true potential is unleashed. And that's when everything changes. One day your commitment will pay off, and the world will see what you were working for in silence. You see, success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about commitment. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, pushing forward when things get tough, and refusing to quit when everyone else does. That's what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who only talk about them. Most people give up too soon. They start strong, but when they face challenges, they step back. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right time. But winners, they don't wait. They commit. They decide that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how slow the progress feels, they will not stop until they get where they want to be. So now the choice is yours. You can either stay where you are, making the same excuses, living the same life, or you can commit to your goals, commit to your growth, commit to doing whatever it takes to create the future you want. Because at the end of the day, nobody else can do it for you. It's up to you. If you truly commit, if you give it your all, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So don't wait. Start now. Commit and watch how your life transforms.